morning and welcome back to Morning Express. It's the 12th of June 2014, the big day for footballing world. Around the world, all eyes are on Brazil as the World Cup kicks off today, and our sports desk, courtesy of Joshua Kemboi, has prepared for us some great analysis as we get into this footballing season. And they're now with me in studio, and I'm concerned.
Yes.
Because there is no woman on that panel. So naomba nisongewe kidogo.
Yeah, count yourself in.
But it's a big day, yes. Amazing. I'm supporting a certain team.
Yes.
I hope they win.
Which is that certain team? Does it have?
I will tell you the day the final whistle goes after 30 days.
So you'll be following the 32 teams basically?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
I will, yeah. Of course, a lot of love for the African teams.
Yes.
We hope they go the farthest we've... Well, what's the farthest they've gone, by the way?
Quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals.
Yes.
At least semis.
At least.
At least.
Good.
Or
I thought you would say probably an African team, or yes, one of the five will be in the finals, but that is good enough because the five teams have the pedigree to probably bring down one of the big teams in the world.
All right. Well, welcome guys. Good to see you all and enjoy the conversation.
Thank you. And that is how it is, because this is Samba Buzz, the 2014 World Cup kicking off in Brazil today at 9 p.m. Kenyan time. That is the opening ceremony, and later on at 11 p.m. Brazil, the host country, will be taking on Croatia in the opening match of the FIFA World Cup. And with me I have a team that will split the 32 teams into pieces for us to exactly understand whether it will be Croatia winning the World Cup, whether it will be England, like one of my panelists here says, winning the World Cup, whether it will be Ghana, Cameroon, Algeria, or Ivory Coast, or even Honduras winning the World Cup. But before we get into that discussion, I will not introduce my panelists. Let us first set the stage. Well, the World Cup mad is now with us here. And with me in studio is, from my left, Patric Korir, Chief Editor, Futa.com. Karibu.
Thank you.
The man who says he will support one team whose t-shirt is not even wearing in the studio. Sammy Kitula of Game Yetu. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
And the gentleman who set us the stage for our discussion, Moses Wakhisi, is a budding journalist. He has been following the goings on in Brazil, here in Kenya. He will tell you which stadium has not been completed, which stadium has been completed, and probably he also has, or may not even have, a team to follow going into this World Cup. Gentlemen, welcome. And this is the 20th World Cup since 1930, when the first World Cup was played. And all that time we've had probably one team winning more than any other. Brazil, who are the hosts right now, they have won it 5 times. Now they're hosts. Let us split Brazil, Croatia. The first match at 11 p.m. Where will that match head to? I will start with you, the man who supports England.
Well, it's a tough call. The way a coin has 2 sides, you can look at it from a tough match for the Brazilians being host. Remember, no host team has ever lost the opening match. So it's a tough call for Brazil, and everybody, all the millions of fans behind them, and all the fans, of course, around the world, many of them are supporting Brazil, including my colleague here. and the other thing is that Croatia won't give them an easy opponent, of course, because of course they met, I think, 2 times before. Brazil has won once and they've drawn the other game. So of course they'll say that we've never lost to Brazil. So this is a tough call for Croatia, who of course are missing one of their key players. But of course they have able replacements.
Exactly. Now to the man who supports Brazil. I don't support Brazil, and I think, and don't punch me, because I know from where I sit, Brazil might not win against Croatia. You have your thoughts against it?
Well, I don't think we're going to have that discussion that Brazil might not win. They're definitely going to win this game. Very many reasons. First, they're playing at home. They've had a lot of... Everything has been in the bad light before this tournament, protests and all. Now they need to get people into the mood of football. And what better way do you do that other than to win your first game? Now, there are many things that work for Brazil, and there are very many things that do not work for Croatia. I'll give you an example. If we just stretch back to the last 15 games played, Brazil has not lost. They've scored 50 goals, they've conceded only 6. They have an excellent defense, very fluid midfield, and one of those forwards that you just don't want to play against. Now, if you look at those 15 games for Croatia, they've conceded 17 goals and only scored 22 goals. If we go back to the qualifiers where they played 10 games in the group and then they had to go into the playoffs, now their top striker only had 4 goals, and that's Mandzukic.
Yes.
Now he's not even going to be playing the first game because suspension.
Yes.
Now in the qualifiers, their second best scorer was Perisic, who scored only 2 goals. Yeah. And Eduardo, who was in Arsenal at some point, who also scored twice. Now they struggle when it comes to scoring goals. Now if your top scorer is not going to play this particular game and you've been shipping in a lot of goals in your last games, then what chance do you have against the team that is playing at home, the team that is highly tipped to actually win this particular tournament? And you can imagine everyone is going to focus on the first game. So Croatia, I think for me, are going to struggle.
Exactly. Let us talk about, and it is very true what you're saying, but then again, I was reading somewhere and they're saying they are not very good at absorbing pressure. That is Brazil. So all those millions of people wanting these people, remember the protests, remember this, the facilities not being ready, and the urge by the locals to want their team to erase that bad smell in their mouths will probably be so heavy for these guys, the shoulders of these players.
Actually, they say that the weakest link for Brazil is actually if you go past the defense to the keeper. Now, when you get to the keeper, then you have a chance of scoring. But how do you get past that defense? Thiago Silva, David Luiz.
Yes.
Yeah, how do you get past that kind of defense? It's been very solid, and as I just told you about, only conceding 6 times in 15 games.
Exactly.
So it stands very firm, and I think that's going to work for them. Now, if you look at the forward, everyone is going to be zeroing in on Neymar.
Exactly.
Played 49 times, scored 31 goals. He has an average of 2 goals in every 3 games he plays. But now, while people will be focusing on Neymar, and I think that's exactly what Croatia is going to be doing, now guess who's going to be open? Fred.
Yes.
33 games, 17 goals. I think that's the man who's actually going to lift Brazil past the first game, past the group stage, and to the latter stages of this tournament.
Exactly. I was going to ask Moses because Neymar has been, or is being viewed as the anchorman for Brazil, and in some instances that really poses a danger, because if you are unleashing one person where everyone else will be surrounding every other time is past the halfway line, but will that not really expose Brazil for that matter?
I think a lot of pressure, first of all, to Neymar. Every Brazilian is counting on Neymar to carry their flag, but that one on its own, it's a heavy burden the young boy is carrying. Croatia is coming to this match knowing that they lost their opening match in 2006 against Brazil, the time that Kaká scored a spectacular goal. And the coach of Croatia right now, currently, Niko Kovac, was a player who was injured in that match. Now, him is on a mission to probably, is on a revenge mission per se, because he knows that he has a point to prove. Saying that Brazil has not lost 15 matches down the line, that's a risky affair, because then they have that mentality of winning. It's a winning mentality. Croatia on the other side has this mentality. We can win the match, we can lose the game. For Brazil, it's a must win. Croatia don't have as much pressure compared as Brazil. So Neymar being considered as a talisman for Brazil, probably he'll have a very, very daunting task to carry. Fred might sparkle during the tournament, but I don't see Neymar being that influential as everybody is expecting him to be.
Exactly. So moving away now from that opening match, we have seen even the president herself assuring that everything is okay in Brazil, and yet we know it has been a struggle since they were given the right 7 years ago. We have been seeing stories of even up to this morning, one stadium is not ready, or they were still doing basic things that they were supposed to have finished long time ago. The stadium that England are going to play in is even not very ready, because I remember Roy Hodgson sending officials of the English FA to go and check on that stadium because he had doubts whether it was going to be ready. Kitula, these guys had 7 years, and yet we are counting the 0 day, and they are still saying we are not ready on this. How is it going to impact the flair of this World Cup?
Well, tell you the truth, we are all human beings. Even if they were given 20 or plus years, they'll still have some lagging behind, all right? It has been there. I was in South Africa during the 2010 World Cup. Those guys were still doing the finishing ups, you know, a day to the World Cup. Same with Africa Cup of Nations in Gabon.
Yes.
You know, they were laying the fields up to the last, I think, the semi-finals. Some fields were being, you know, renovated up during the semi-finals. But having said that, I won't say that it will impact negatively on the whole thing of football. No. You will bear me witness. By the time we hit July 13th,
yes,
everybody will forget about, you know, we were lagging behind. Of course, the misses and all the noises and all the protests along the streets that, you know, this government is putting so much money into football, whereas most of our people are suffering. Okay, because they say that football unites everybody. Football cuts across, you know, all the religions, all the economic powers and what have you. But of course, it's a negative way of doing things, I must say, in this time and age.
Yes, exactly.
Because you have a timeline, you need to meet deadlines. If you don't meet deadlines, then there's a reason, or there's reason for everybody to worry, because if you guys knew that you're supposed to be hosting this thing and you had all the money, you had all the time to do it, there's no reason as to why you should not finish even the playing field, you know, the level of the playing field, let alone the sitting areas and security and what have you.
Exactly. Yeah. We will soon be moving to probably looking at whether Spain, the defending champions, will really win that. I want the director to cue the clip. There's a clip we want us to watch so that we go into that, and let's just get that perspective about Spain. They are playing the Netherlands in the opening match, a repeat of the final match in 2010 in South Africa. Let's watch that, and then we get our discussion points.
The Samba Preview in association with Sport Pesa.
Defoe, that's a lot of touch.
You just have to remember, the 2010 World Cup winner shot by England's Frank Lampard in the second round against Germany was clearly over the line, but disallowed.
Technology. Thanks very much, Sepp Blatter.
Was it a goal? That question need not be debated in Brazil, where goal line technology will be used for the first time in World Cup history. "14 cameras, 7 trained on each goal mouth, have been hung up in all 12 World Cup stadiums. The cameras will record 500 images per second, and a computer will digest the frames. Within a second of a ball crossing the line, the referee's special watch will vibrate and flash goal. The designer of the system says tests have been run in Brazil without a mistake, and system failure is not an option.
The development of goal control 4D took about 5 years, and we did a lot of internal testing, external testing, so I don't know what exact number of shots, but I think it is more than 10,000 shots which were indicated perfectly. So why shouldn't it work now during the biggest competition in the world? It will work, I promise.
It is the first time that FIFA has permitted the use of technology to automatically detect when a ball crosses the goal line. In a tournament where every goal can mean the advancement of a team and its nation, the fact that a ball actually crossed the goal line takes a momentous importance. The referee still remains the man with the final say.
The referee has the last call. He makes the decision if he trusts the system or not. He can overrule the system anytime he wants, no problem. And but he knows that this system is reliable, and it gives him more information.
Goal control system is expected to be reliable and could not be hacked. FIFA has repeatedly said it's just another aid to help the referee.
Well, gentlemen, we will discuss Spain in a few minutes, but that aspect of introducing another technology altogether, it's been again testing that goal technology for 5 years. It's been on the talks for very many years. Now it will be implemented in Brazil. Good or bad?
Well, I think we have to allow for advancements in whatever it is that we do. Now, the idea of the goal line technology kills the what if. And I think the best example is Lampard against Germany last time, because had that goal been allowed, that at 2-2, England actually had a chance, because it would have changed the dynamics of the game. So it's about killing off the what ifs. Now you have to remember that so many people are going to be watching the World Cup. There is so much pressure on the referee. And unlike the referee, you know, we can actually sit here, watch, have coffee, and actually wait for the replay. The referee does not have that chance. It's a split second. Was it in, was it out? I know it kills the whole idea of, you know, the natural ability of the game.
Yes.
That, oh, it's a goal because that's where the hype is and everything. But we have to allow for advancements, and I think it's a plus, because we are going to kill off that idea of
was it in,
wrong idea, wrong decision or not.
Kitula?
Yeah.
Well, to me, I'll say it's a bad thing, because we are making football look like an interactive multimedia kind of engagement, whereas it ought to be we are passive, you know, users of that technology. The banter they talk about after 90 minutes, you know, the debate up until today, guys are still debating on Lampard's goal.
Yes.
You will kill all that.
How many years down the line?
Exactly.
Yes.
And how many more to come?
Yes.
You know. Because guys remember and tell you, like, you know, I usually ask myself, okay, fine, will it be just on the goal line technology, just the goal awarding? What about scoring from the offside position? Exactly. What will happen?
Yes.
You know, if we want to have football as it is, let the talking go on. Do away with this technology, because it will be all boring. We'll all wait and see. You know, the moment the goal is called, we all be sure that it was a goal, whether it wasn't or not.
Exactly. Moses?
You know, I think I'll differ strongly with that. You know, the fact that they say that we'll be using the goal line technology doesn't say that when a person scores from an offside position, that's a goal. Still, the linesman and the referee will have their say.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It ought to be, because at times they get it wrong with the offside calls.
Yes.
Why don't we just get it wrong all the way up to the awarding of the goals?
No, just as we saw on that opening clip. Every goal is very instrumental to each team, and that's why now we're using the goal line technology. A goal, in a split of a second, the 7 cameras mounted on the goalposts will be taking images that will be transmitted to the center computer, then to the referee's watch. It's only the referee who will know whether it's a goal or not. The fans won't be at a place to know what the watch the referee is weighing.
I know, but again, he won't give that human judgmental part of it, and that is what lacks. That is what makes football enjoyable.
I think
making the wrong calls, of course.
No, still, it's factual that still the referee has the final say.
Yes,
he's the one who will rule whether or not it's a goal or not, irrespective of him wearing the watch.
No, but the watch will tell him.
Yeah, the watch will tell him.
He can't overrule the watch.
But remember that other referee saying, even with this technology, the referee has the final say.
Exactly. No, but he can't overrule the watch. The watch tells him it's a goal. He must call the goal. Because, as you say, there are 7 cameras mounted on each goal side, right?
Yeah.
That will send the signal to the watch. So if the watch vibrates and tells him goal, why can he? Why should he say?
Raise the hand and say
it's not
point to the center.
Still, according to the rules and regulations that have been passed, the watch is not there to tell the referee that you must stick to what the watch says. Just as even the clip, the final man who was speaking on the clip said that the referee still has the final say.
Then why should I give you a gun and deny you the ability to shoot?
Well, I think, Sammy, I think whatever it is that we say, goal line technology is there in this World Cup. Is going to begin today.
Yes. Yeah.
So whether we like it or not, we just have to live with it,
yeah,
because from this point onwards,
it's not a good event.
Exactly.
Well, I know, and I think that has been the debate as to why it's taken a while to actually be implemented.
Yeah. I know now.
It's been a lot of back and forth.
I think Kitula, you have no choice. You have to
I have my views,
and they are valid. Exactly. And like I promised earlier, Spain, defending champions. They played the same team they played against in South Africa, and going that mile or extra time and winning it 1-0. That is the team they're going to play with again. I am looking at the Netherlands wanting to turn around and show or expose Spain as, yes, you have been on top of the world for 4 years. Can we now show you that the other guys have also been working? And I'm glad you're supporting the Netherlands also indirectly.
Oh yeah, I do. I do support them. I do support them. I fear for Spain. One, they are coming here as defending champions, aren't they? And we've all known the record or the history that comes about with defending champions.
Yes.
From 1998 when France won. What happened to them in 2012? We all know. Brazil, what happened to...
Yeah.
Rather to... No. France in 202, rather.
Yes.
Then what happened to Brazil in 06?
06 in Germany.
What happened to Italy in 2010? Okay, so it's an analogy, and if you like trends, if you so much thrive in trends, you must appreciate trends don't lie.
Yes.
There's a reason as why defending champions falter the way they do over the time since 98.
Yeah,
when France were,
was,
you know. So I don't think, in as much as Spain have all the quality players and individual brilliance in them, I see them struggling more so against Netherlands, because everybody is saying, oh, Netherlands, their main key man, Van Persie is not at his best. But I'm telling you, that is a fluid team. We all remember how they played in 2010. Nobody expected them to reach the finals, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's look at Spain for this matter, because you cannot discuss Spain without looking at the composition of the players, where they came from. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, the team which won La Liga, that is Atletico Madrid. All those players, will it be an overload of talent in Brazil in as far as Spain is concerned, or is it an overload?
Well, of course, it was very similar composition that they had in 2010, because if you look at the setup, and these are the same players who won the Euro in 2008,
yes.
2012, so it's pretty much you're coming into this tournament with a set of players who've been there. Now, I agree with what Kitula is saying, because history has a way of repeating itself. It never goes wrong in very many instances. But then I think what is going to work for Spain, and I think if they can manage to soak in the pressure, because the Netherlands will be coming at them very hard, is that the players that they have, take an example, Iker Casillas, most capped player that they have.
Yes.
Iniesta, we all know how he plays. The midfield that we always see at Barcelona is pretty much the composition of the midfield that we're going to see at Spain.
Yes.
Now, if they can soak in the pressure, then they will maybe want to actually kill off that trend that Kitula is talking about, whereby they can absorb the pressure from the Netherlands, and maybe for once we see a different kind of game from a defending champion.
Exactly. Are we looking at a World Cup of surprises again? Because like Kitula says, in 2010, the Netherlands were the surprise team going all the way to the finals, just from nowhere. This time, of course, soon we'll be talking briefly about the African teams. So many people are talking about Belgium, where we have Divock Origi. Most likely they could be the surprise team. Any chance for them?
I think for Belgium, they'll have they have an easy group to qualify, first of all. In Group H, the likes of Algeria, Russia, and South Korea. South Korea, even in the friendlies, they've been struggling, previously beaten by Ghana 4-0.
Yeah.
So Belgium in the group, the composition of the likes of Hazard, Lukaku on the striking force, and even the defense line is very compact.
Origi as well.
Company. Origi, I don't think Origi will get as much as play time as a lot of Kenyans will want. Probably because even the Belgian team is taken as one of the midfielders, but even on the friendly matches he's been playing, mostly he only gets 20 minutes of play or so. But Belgium, from the defense of Vatogen, Company, and Vermaelen, are very strong defensively. Midfield is also compact. Hazard, he can play anywhere. In Belgium, he has a free role. And Lukaku on his striking force, he has been scoring goals at will. Exactly. From Everton, and now on the friendly matches I've been playing. So it's quite a team that one can say it has a gel of players that might have that surprise package in this World Cup.
Exactly, guys. Can we come back closer home now as we wind up Ghana went as close as the quarterfinals, almost getting into the semis in South Africa. Ivory Coast have been on top of the charts in Africa or CAF rankings for the longest. African champions Nigeria, Cameroon, Algeria. Where are we putting the African teams at this World Cup?
I only vouch for Nigeria, number 1, and Ivory Coast as number 2, for many reasons. One, Nigeria are in a favorable group, by the way. Iran, Bosnia-Herzegovina, and what is this team? Argentina. Yes. Okay, so if they could just recall their ghosts of 1994 making their debut, you know, when they defeated Bulgaria, and they of course they lost 2-1 to Argentina, then they beat Greece in the group stages and qualified, you know, for the second round where they were knocked out by Italy. They had tremendous courage, they had tremendous flow of football, right? So if they could recall such, you know, form at this level, because given the group opponents, they can be easily go past them. Then of course the Ivory Coast, they've had 2 outings, yes, and let me say 2 bad outings, okay, at the World Cup against anybody's expectations, because I mean Ivory Coast has the best individual brilliance, yes, if not in Africa, in all over the world. Drogba is ranked amongst the top, you know, top-notch strikers in the world, but when it comes to the top, you know, when everybody requires them to prove their mental, they scramble
in championships,
of course.
Korir?
I will not go with Nigeria for very many reasons, like Kitula. I'd like to look at the progression. Ghana was in it in 2006. They made it to the pre-quarters. They're beaten by Brazil 3-0. 2010, they go back to the pre-quarters. And they went even further to the quarters.
Yes.
Now what we're looking at is progression. Now they have that. Now if you look at that, because what actually works for you when you go into a tournament is your progression
from where you left the previous time.
From where you left, and hoping that you will continue from where you left.
Yes.
So it gives hope. If you look at Nigeria the last time round, and unfortunately that's my problem with Nigeria, they're very good in 1994, made it to the pre-quarters, 1998, made it to the pre-quarters. Who thought they could be beaten by Denmark? You know, that's the kind of thing. So when you expect so much from them, they give you a very big shortfall. That's my problem. Now, in as much as the African champions, now if you look at Cameroon, you're not even going to discuss that, because I think number 4 is where they're going to get out of the group A.
Yeah.
Algeria could just be one of those teams that we underrate, but could actually get something. But how I see them go far is probably pick a win in their group, not get out of the group stage. Cote d'Ivoire for me could be the team that we could be looking up to, because if you look at the set of players that they have, Yaya Toure, best midfielder in the world, one of the best, Didier Drogba. If you look at the last 2 times, the first time was naivety. I mean, it was the first time they were there. The next time, they could have done better than they did, but they didn't. Now, if you look at the composition of players, they cannot even win the Africa Cup of Nations. But if you look at the squad, this is their last chance.
It's actually the age.
Arthur Boka playing in his 3rd World Cup, Didier Drogba, Yaya Toure. This is their last chance. And I think they've got all to prove. And I think they're going to surprise us a little by making it out of that group and making it to the pre-quarters. From there, now we'll have another discussion.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've probably talked about 9 or 10 teams, but then again, which team could be really come from the shadows and probably show the rest of the world that yes, they exist. They did not just qualify, but they are in Brazil for many reasons. Kitula.
That's a tough call. I'd go for my team, England, with no apologies. Of course, I know everybody's saying you guys have never made it past the quarters.
Yes.
Korir was telling me before we came to the set that you guys are perennial, what did you call it?
Finishing number 5 to number 8.
Number 8.
Yeah, that's where you belong.
Well, it's okay. We take it that with pride, because football is a matter of, as I said, progression. We are building on something. Look at the composition of our team. Let me call our team squad.
I like that.
It's made of, you know, young players. Give it to them. Who is the oldest player in our team? in England.
Lampard, maybe.
And he's not even playing a pivotal role in England's campaign. But then let me tell you, Kemboi, you'll be shocked if these guys make it to the semis. Let me say so, because everybody is saying the best England can do is the quarters. No, the quarters. They are giving the quarters as the best ceiling position these guys can ever make. You'll be shocked.
Exactly. Gentlemen, of course we have our opinions. We have our teams, like Moses, he hasn't said which team is playing, he's supporting.
Spain. Good. Spain all the way.
Is it because they're defending champions?
No, I think Spain is going to inflict pain and death in different ways.
Really?
1,000 cuts. From Casillas on goal, and Pirlo, who will be leading attack from behind, Iniesta with his creativity, and Xavi, and they're coming off a very bad season in Barcelona. They have a point to prove. Probably they'll say they're aging. Iniesta is still instrumental. Remember in his 1/16th goal against Netherlands when they won the title. They have a point to prove.
Guys, well, they have a point to prove. Like I said earlier on, we will shred the 32 teams into pieces so that we understand and put them where they belong. We have seen where the positioning is, and here at KTN we will stop at nothing but to give you the best analysis of the 2014 World Cup. Sophia, I don't know, what are your people on social media saying? Where is this World Cup heading?
People are torn. I mean, everybody has their team and the reasons. You know, we'd asked them to send in about who they're supporting and why they're supporting them. There's the Spain, some talking about by virtue of the fact that they won it the last time. Brazil, the school of thought that they're at home. And yesterday, you remember the last World Cup, there was the question, was it the octopus? What was it that
Octopus.
Yes, that was, you know, weighing in,
everywhere.
predicting. So I watched a story yesterday that had these witch doctors that predicted that Brazil would win. I think, was it against Netherlands or something? Anyway, I remember Batistuta. Were you born?
Come on. you read about it. You must have read about it.
No. I remember watching. He was in the World Cup, right?
Really?
Yes, I remember. You know, that's how far I've come in terms of World Cup and football. Just to show that women watch this thing themselves. Yes, so it will be an interesting, I guess, season, and we'll be hearing a lot from your team in terms of analysis and how we are going. And here on Morning Express, we'll have you on as often as possible to also just get an understanding. For those who will not be watching, like some of us, since we have to sleep to wake up early for the show, and the rest of the other women who just want to know. Yeah, it's an interesting time. You should have a show where women get to weigh in on what their thoughts are on football.
It's beginning with you, Sophia. We will give you that platform.
You
Actually,
will?
some of them said Manchester United yesterday.
And some saying they're supporting Arsenal for the World Cup. My
Probably they would have said they're supporting the players who play for Arsenal and now turning out for their national teams. Maybe they forgot that.
Distributed across. So which team is it exactly?
Yeah. And you know, earlier we were doing the press review with Kathy, and I was explaining to her what offside is. So it goes down to basics, gentlemen. We need first understand this offside and, you know, this linesman, what their role is, the ball that's being thrown from the side. Football has a lot, you know.
And now, after these matches in Brazil, Sophia, I'm telling you, you'll be a football analyst.
I will.
Only you watch all of them.
I'll try and watch.
Yes.
But I love the passion by which football lovers, the real ones, the fans, I love that passion. If only in life we could be given to everything like that, even at the workplace, Kenya would be at a different place. Yeah. Thank you all for your contributions this morning, and thank you for watching Morning Express today. You've seen we've covered for you all of the business, talking as far as the budget is concerned. In a few hours' time, we'll hear from Cabinet Secretary Rotich, and interesting to see will be how the government will finance that 1.8 trillion budget without getting, you know, Mwananchi in a fix, more pain in the pocket. So we'll watch that for you, and all analysis will be live in the National Assembly, and we'll have my colleagues as well analyzing that for you, as well as other analysts and experts after the same. And of course, when the World Cup kicks off, we'll be having the details. Or Hassan Juma is down in Brazil, and he'll be talking to us about how the mood also is like at the opening ceremony. That will be huge. And we'll see you tomorrow for the weekend. And thank you for watching. Have a blessed day.